Welcome to the Dray Way. I am so glad you're here. We are just 8 days away, 8 days, and we have a new president. 8 days away. Yes, we have counted all the way down from 50 down to 8, and here we go. Here we go, and how can I start off the show and not talk about last night? Oh my gosh, we got to talk about it because it was terrible. What a terrible thing to do in Madison Square Garden. What a terrible, I used to live in Florida. I lived in Florida, and particularly when I was in Hollywood, Florida, I had a number of hurricanes go right over our head. And the first time I had a hurricane go over my head, I was like, yeah, I'm not staying around for that again. I'm not going to be anywhere remotely around when a hurricane comes around. And so what I decided to do the next time a hurricane came around is I went to Puerto Rico. So 2 or 3 times while I lived in Florida, I was like, yeah, I'm going to get out of the way of this storm and I'm going to go hang out in Puerto Rico. And Puerto Rico, if you've never been to Puerto Rico, let me tell you something. The people of Puerto Rico I wish I could remember the hotel I stayed in, because I stayed in a hotel that was right off the water and it had a barber shop right next door. And of course, every time I'd go, I'd get my hair cut because the guys in there were so funny, so kind, gave me so much information about where to go, what to do, everything. And no matter where I went in Puerto Rico, I was treated like a king. The people of Puerto Rico could not possibly have been nicer. And I want to say that right up front. But, and for, watching that whole thing at Madison Square Garden last night, and to watch people make jokes. And I want you to notice, they made jokes of people of color. They made jokes of, black people. They made jokes of brown people. They made jokes and thought it was funny, especially about Puerto Rico, thinking that, calling it an island of garbage. Here, when Hurricane Maria ripped through Puerto Rico, Donald Trump was president. And thousands of people died in Puerto Rico, and Donald Trump did nothing. You know what Donald Trump did? He went around and threw paper towels at them. And he just didn't care. There was no empathy. There was no understanding of the plight of the people in Puerto Rico. And to watch people in that rally make fun of Puerto Rico, it hurt me. It hurt me down to my chest. I'm like, oh, wow. Why would you say that about a territory of America? Puerto Rico is part of America. Why would you say something like that? Why would you think that joke would be okay? Because it's not. It's not, particularly when they are still struggling to come back from a horrific hurricane. But I want you to notice something. The Republican Party doesn't like Hispanics. They don't care about them. They're people of color. They don't care. The Democratic Party, particularly Harris, has a plan for Puerto Rico, has a plan to benefit the island. It's Democrats saying, hey, Hispanics, come sit with us. We want to work with you. We want to work together to make not just Puerto Rico better, but to make the Hispanic experience in America better. Meanwhile, you have another party that just wants to make jokes. And that's why I more than once I've come to ask people that are Hispanics, why would you vote for a party that makes fun of you? Why would you do that? Why would you lower yourself like that? Because they don't see you as part of the family. They see you as second and third class citizens. And that should disturb all of you. Because in the Democratic Party, we have nothing but love and nothing but room. I'll scoot over right now. Sit right next to me. Sit right here. And that's my message this morning. Because watching that rally last night, watching that spectacle, and watching the racism just flow, it was disturbing. It was disturbing to me, and I'm sure it was disturbing to many, many people of color, because it was just, it was uncomfortable from beginning to end. But I really, really want to know what you guys think of this. Let me know in the comments what you think. If you haven't subscribed yet, welcome to the Dray Way. I'm Draytonnay. I'm so glad you're here. We have a great show today. We have a lot to talk about, but I just thought at the beginning it was necessary to talk about what we saw last night, because it made me sad. It really did, because I want it to stop. I think we all just want it to stop. Racism in this country, it needs to just go away. It needs to stop. And I don't want to hear that you're just making jokes. Oh, it's just jokes. If that were true, you should have done a lot of jokes about crackers or white trash, because that was your audience. Yeah, I said it. That was your audience. Hillbilly white trash. You don't have any hillbilly white trash jokes? Let me know. I've got some for you. Again, let me know what you guys think. We have a lot more to cover. 8 days away from the election. 8 days away. I'm glad you're here. It's the Dray Way. We have more to talk about. Let's not talk about polls right now. Let's talk about the actual votes. We have almost 40 million votes in. And guess what we can tell from the votes? What we can tell from the votes is it's almost a 60-40 split. Yes, overwhelmingly, most of the early votes are from women. Let me say that again. Most of the early votes, overwhelmingly so, are from women. Now, why do you think that is? Why do you think? Because ultimately, I've talked about this before, but I want to reiterate it one more time. Ultimately, this election is about one thing. And I know everybody's, well, I have my issues. I have that, don't tell me your issues about the economy, because there is nothing wrong with the United States economy. We're number one in the world. So if your issue is the economy, you should be voting for a Democrat automatically, because our economy, compared to the rest of the country, the rest of the world, is killing it. We're growing at a fantastic rate. So don't let anyone tell you any different. But what this really comes down to is just so basic, And women, all women ever ask, women only ask for one thing. That's all they really, truly ever ask for. And that is security. Women just want to feel secure in this world, because in many cases, they do not. They do not feel secure. Ask any woman what kind of fears she deals with every day. I know as a man, you can't even grasp it. You can't even think about it. But ask any woman what she worries about on a given day. And it's a list like you will not believe. Because a lot of times they have to just fear for their safety. And this election is not just about their safety. It's about their lives. We're talking about whether you live or die. So what could be more important than that? Tell me what in this election is more important than whether, as a woman, whether you live or die. And that may depend solely on what state you live in or what state you traveled to. Because right now, as things stand right now today, you can travel from one state to another and you could be putting your life at risk simply because you cross state lines. Yeah. You could receive completely different medical care because you're in one state and not another. So as a woman, tell me how that doesn't scare the death out of you. Tell me how that doesn't petrify you. Because I bet it does. I bet it does scare you. And that is what guys, this is what you need to understand. Women are, in many cases, are voting for their very lives. That's what I need you to understand. They're literally voting for their lives. And Michelle Obama the other day asked you men to come along with them. Think enough about us women, she said, to come along and vote for our rights. Vote for us. You have a mother. Some of you have daughters and sisters. Vote for them. Vote for their rights. And that's basically what this has come down to. That's basically what this, sorry, I have a phone ringing. But that's basically what this whole thing has come down to. I want you to understand that. That's why this is so important. Everybody's like, oh, well, it's just abortion. No, it's not just abortion. It's about privacy and a woman's right to do what she wants to with her own body between her and her doctor and not getting the government involved. The government you claim, the government you say is terrible. The government can't do anything. The government sucks. The government's awful. The government this, the government that. Oh, by the way, we wanted to run your body. What? So just understand, this election is really important to women. And guess what? They proved it. Almost 60-40 women showed up to early vote. That's a huge number. 60-40, that's huge. But that tells you just how important, just how you have awoken women. And women have had enough. Women don't want to vote Republican because they want Republicans to stay away from their body. And the fact that you guys keep coming after them, yeah, it gives them the icks. Yeah, it's kind of icky. But again, let me know what you guys think. Put it down in the comments. I want to know your thoughts on this. You know my thoughts. You know what I'm thinking. I'm thinking we need to leave women alone. I think women should have full rights over their own bodies. Her body, her choice. But I want to know what you guys think. And stick around. We got a lot more to talk about. We are just 8 days away. 8 days away to a very, very important election. An election between Kamala Harris, the Democrat who has vast experience in government, was our vice president. She's been a senator, attorney general, you know the list. And Donald Trump, who we have rejected a number of times, who was a horrible president, who got impeached twice, and was the cause of hundreds of thousands of people losing their lives, whether it be COVID or whether it be the poor people in Puerto Rico. Donald Trump is a game show host. Donald Trump isn't qualified to run a Dairy Queen. He's not even qualified to, I don't know, would you have Donald Trump watch your 13-year-old daughter? Would you let him babysit your 13-year-old daughter? Think about that. Let me know. Let me know if you would. But yeah, I mean, here's a guy that's literally a game show host. And we thought it would be a good idea to put a game show host as president of the United States, and look what happened. Our economy crashed, hundreds of thousands of people lost their lives, and it took years to come back from. Years. And now as we just have things fixed and the economy going well, Republicans are saying, oh, put this guy back in. You know, the one that had a dumpster fire going on when he left? Yeah, put this guy back in. Yeah, no. I don't think he should ever be anywhere near the White House again. But that is the choice. That is the only choice. It's between those two people. And why this is even, this should be a landslide of unbelievable proportions. because one is clearly qualified in talking to the people, and the other one is clearly a racist. The man is a racist and doesn't think much of women, and neither does the party. The party wants to continue to attack the rights of women. So at some point, you have to stand up and go, enough's enough. Enough is enough. And I want you all to go out and make sure you vote. I want you all right now, 8 days away, to make your plan for voting. Put your plan together and please, please vote. I cannot tell you, I don't believe there's been a more important election. I think this is it. And I think this election will be looked at for decades, for hundreds of years, in fact. And people will want to know how you voted. So make sure that vote counts. Please vote. And again, thank you so much for coming to the Dray Way. I have a blast doing the show. So many of you have had so many positive comments. I thank you all. I love doing this show, and I can't wait to make the show better. And you guys are driving me to make the show better. So thank you for joining me for the Dray Way. Tomorrow we will be just 1 week away, and I hope you join me. If you haven't seen any of the other 42 shows, I hope you check them out. But I'm certainly glad you're here for show 8 days away, and I hope you're here for the show tomorrow. It's the Dray Way every day. We'll see you later.